Hello friends, in this series of the video, we are going to talk about flowering plants. We know that kingdom plantae having 5 important divisions like algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperm and angiosperm, out of which most advanced division is angiospermic plant, which is nothing but the flowering plant. Generally, more than 3 lakh species of the flowering plant present on the planet Earth, and they are advanced because they have ability to produce specialized organ for sexual reproduction, which is nothing but the flower. In this series of the video, I am going to discuss in detail about the morphology and anatomy of the flowering plant. What is morphology? It is nothing but the study of external characteristics of the different organ of the flowering plant, while anatomy is the study of internal structures of the different organ of the flowering plant. In case of morphology, first we want to share with you the 2 important systems that flowering plant have. The system of the organ which is present below the ground surface, okay, that means it is generally positively geotrophic, grow towards the soil, positively hydrostrophic because it grow towards the water, and it is negatively phototropic, means root system grow away from the sunlight. Okay, and the system play important role of absorbing water and minerals and providing to the entire plant body. So the first system which is present in the flowering plant is a root system, while the next system of the flowering plant which is present above the ground surface, which is generally having aerial parts of the plant body, it is called as shoot system. So in this series, first I am going to start with root system of the flowering plant. The root system mainly have organ called roots. And in case of angiospermic plant, 2 different type of roots are mainly observed, like taproot and adventitious roots. So in the morphology of the flowering plant, first I am going to discuss about the roots. The root of flowering plant perform different type of functions, and sometimes this angiospermic plant also modify their root system to perform some additional functions. This modification can be for food storage, for mechanical support, and for strength, and sometimes the root of the angiospermic plant also perform additional function like respiration. In case of some halophytic plant, this root grow towards the light, come out of the soil surface, and then they perform respiration. Such root are called pneumatophores. Sometimes the root also perform function of absorbing moisture directly from the air in case of epiphytic plant, the plant which grow on other plants. Okay, so epiphytic roots are nothing but the special type of a root which having a tissue called velamen tissue, and their roots are hanging in the air. They directly absorb moisture from the air. So first I am going to discuss the root system, in which root, and in root section I am going to focus on structure of the root, its function and modification. Modification mainly for mechanical support, for food storage and for additional function. The next part of the flowering plant body is central axis, which come above the ground surface, and the axis is called stem. So next organ of the flowering plant is stem. In this section, I am going to focus on structure of the stem, then its function. The main function of the stem is providing support to the lateral organs of the plant body, and I am also going to focus on different modification of the stem. Actually, stem are generally aerial, but sometimes they are underground also. Okay, we can observe some stem in angiospermic plant which grow below the ground surface. So I am going to discuss in detail about the stem in next video of my series. Then the another organ of the angiospermic plant which is generally present attached to the stem is leaf. So the leaves are main organ which perform photosynthesis in the plant, which convert light energy into the chemical energy, and the leaves are also differentiate into different type like simple leaf and compound leaves. So in the next section of the series, I am going to focus on leaves of the angiospermic plant. In this part, I am going to discuss in detail about the structure of leaves, then its type, function and modifications. Okay, so leaves also perform some additional function like providing mechanical support to the plant body. The next organ of the flowering plant is flower. It is the most important organ of the angiospermic plant which perform function of sexual reproduction. So it is mainly produced for sexual reproduction, and generally flower have different parts like calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Okay, the arrangement of calyx and corolla, that is sepals and petal in the flower, is called aestivation. So in this section of the videos, I am going to discuss in detail about the structure of flower, and then different parts of the flower, their function and aestivations. Aestivation is nothing but the arrangement of sepals and petal on the axis. So after discussing flower, I am going to focus on inflorescence. What is inflorescence? Inflorescence is nothing but the arrangement of different flower on a single axis called peduncle. Okay, so generally the flower which is present in single on the branches or on the stem are called solitary flower, but sometimes these flowers are present in the group. So the group of the flower on a central axis is called inflorescence. There are two important type of inflorescence which is observed in the angiospermic plant like racemose and cymose. I am going to discuss in detail about this type of inflorescence, their function in upcoming videos. The next part after inflorescence is fruit. We know that when fertilization occurs in the flower of angiospermic plant, the ori become enlarged, ori become developed, and after development, ori convert into the fruit. So next part of this series is fruit. Okay, so after fertilization in angiospermic plant, ori develop into the fruits. So I am going to discuss in detail about the different type of fruits which is present in the angiospermic plant, like simple fruit, compound fruits, and how we can characterize the fruits in case of dicot and monocot plant. The next part of this series is seeds. We know that inside the fruits, seeds are present. It is not in case of parthenocarpic fruit, but in case of normal fruit, we observe seeds. So I am going to discuss in detail about the seed structure and function of different seed part in angiospermic plant. Okay, so in case of morphology section, I am going to discuss root, stem, leaves, flower, inflorescence, fruit and seed. In case of root, different type of root like taproot, adventitious root, then their modifications for mechanical support, for food storage and for some performing some other functions. Then stem, structure of stem and their modification. Same case for leaves. Okay, in case of the leaves, structure of the leaves, different modification of the leaves. Then venation means the arrangement of vein in the leaves, and aestivation, that is arrangement of leaves on the main axis. Then flower, structure of flower, different parts of the flower and different type of the flower, inflorescence, fruit and seed. So this 7 point I am going to cover in case of morphology. And in anatomy section, I am going to cover transverse sections of root, stem and leaves. So in anatomy section, I am going to focus on 3 parts of the flower angiospermic plant, that is root, stem and leaves. So from my next video, I am going to start with first organ of the flowering plant, that is root. Thank you.